Okay, so 2024 is coming into a close. This year's been very interesting, and by looking at my top 10 albums of this year, there's some bands I didn't think was gonna make it up, like to this high, and I think there was also some releases that came out that I was like super excited for, but they ended up not hitting me as hard, or there's a little bit of disappointment here and there. But yeah, overall, this year's been a lot of fun, reacting wise, making content. A lot of, bands I've been waiting for came back this year, and we're looking forward to newer music the next year. But yeah, overall, very solid year. By the way, if it seems like I'm out of it or I'm like talking weird, I think I caught a cold whenever I went to LA to see Silent Planet's and I God Slept 10th anniversary tour. So if it looks like I'm out of it or I'm slurring my words or anything like that, I'll try to fix it while I'm editing this video. But yeah, keep that in mind. Give me a little grace. So yeah, so just like last year, I'm going to be going over singles, EPs, disappointments of this year, honorable mentions, and then we'll get into the top 10 albums of this year for me. So with these singles, there's a lot of singles that I just wanted to talk about briefly, and I don't really have them in a particular order. They kind of are, with my excitement for them, and also I'm excited for their next coming releases for next year. Most of these bands, they are either announce an album or they are hinting for an album release next year. But yeah, so the first singles I'm going to be talking about is Teeth and Survivor's Guilt by Underoath. These are very interesting singles. I did watch Nick Nocturnal's interview with Spencer, and it seems like they're going into a very new direction with their music overall. And it seems like Spencer and the band are very hyped about this new material. And I feel like with the little glimpses that we've been getting, I'm interested. I'm still kind of weirded out by Survivor's Guilt. For me, I do think that there was another song released this year that I didn't check out, but Teeth was very fun, very cool, had like a very like electronic vibe, but also had very heavy moments, very bipolar song overall. But yeah, I'm still very optimistic to see what this next album is going to sound like. But yeah, next song is Issues, Since I've Lost You, which is the last song in their discography, and I don't think Issues is going to be coming back anytime soon, sadly. It's so sad, hearing I think it's Skylar, the lead I think lead songwriter, but there's a lot of demos and a lot of very cool stuff that he said that were going to be in future Issue records, but Issues is no longer a band, so you can't really do anything with it. But very fun song. Love Skylar's vocals on it, and yeah, very sad that they're gone. So next is Fit for Kings, Keeping Secrets, and Technium, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It looks like with Keeping Secrets, I don't think it's going to be an album, their next coming album. I think it's just a single that they're kind of experimenting with. You can really see Ryan Kirby really using his like clean vocal skills and kind of really like belting it, unlike a lot of other songs. I think a lot of Kirby's singing in his previous works weren't very dynamic. They were just very simple, very effective, and I feel like with Keeping Secrets, he really let it all out, and his vocals are very dynamic, and it seems like he's really improving. And then Technium is a very dystopian, very pissed off song that I just absolutely loved, and the feature with Landon from The Plot in You was disgusting, but it makes me very excited to see what they're going to put out next. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. So next is Born of Osiris's singles. They released 3 singles: Mind Short Circuited, Elevate, and in Desolation, and all those songs are very, very fun. I love them to death. And I think A Mind Short Circuiting for me is probably my favorite song. I think lyrically it really hits, at least how I kind of look at that song is, how we interact with society and, people talking mad shit online. That's kind of how I look at that song every so often. But but whoever is mixing these songs are incredible. It sounds so unique, sounds very, transparent in a sense of like you can hear everything very individually, every part of the music individually, and it's just such a unique mix. I can't really totally describe it in words, but very, very cool music. Cannot wait to see like a whole album. Hopefully there's going to be a whole album. But so next is Ginger's Someone's Daughter and Rogue. I think Ginger overall is a very consistent band. They don't really do anything where they like experiment too much, but I always feel like every time I've listened to any new music from them, it's just good. I don't know. I don't really expect them to to break the mold 100%, but somehow I think they changed stuff a little bit where you can probably hear something different, but I can't really totally pick it out. It could be like a mix thing. It could be a different way of playing guitar in some ways. I'm not totally sure, but Ginger always felt very fresh for me, and also I need to go through their discography at some point, and I'm pretty sure that they have an upcoming album, I think February of next year, so I'll definitely be checking it out. Next is A Visceral Wretch by Whitechapel, and this song is like going all the way back to their first album. I totally forgot the name of that album, but it's very, very fun, and seeing them taking that sound and then making it very like not new school, what's kind of taking that sound and making it sound way more modern, and it sounds very gross. Personally, I can't really listen to the single by itself, but I really want to see what this song sounds like in context of an album. And I have to say, I'm very, very excited to see what Whitechapel has up their sleeve, and very excited. Next is Spiritbox's 2 new singles called Soft Spine and Perfect Soul. These 2 songs are kind of like the opposite. While Soft Spine is very, very heavy, right in your face, and lyrically like is insane. I think like the line of the breakdown is like, your God will sort you when you die. Like, damn. That song is very cool. And Perfect Soul, I haven't really listened to it that much, but very nice balance of like the heavier riffs and the softer moments, and it's kind of back and forth. And I also think you get to hear their bassist sing a decent amount in the background too, which is a very, very cool element. And they have a new album coming out in March, I believe. It's called Sea Tsunami, I believe. But I'm very, very excited to see what the whole vibe of the album is going to sound like. I think I really like it whenever Spiritbox goes dark, and I think that's the reason why I love their first EP a lot, is because how dark it is and just how dismal it just has like a certain feeling, and I'm kind of getting that vibe with Spiritbox's newer stuff. But yeah, overall, super fun. Next is Sleepless Deathbed by Invent Animate. This is a song that this is like the second single that came out, teasing their Heavener Deluxe album. And I feel like Heavener, I love. A Sleepless Deathbed, incredible song. Kind of gives me like older vibes, Invent Animate, but newer, embracing like the new style that they have. And I think they released another song that is like more on the softer end of things that I don't personally love a whole bunch. I know some people really, really like it, but it doesn't really hit me personally. But Sleepless Deathless is very cool, and I cannot wait to see what Inveanimate does in the near future. And I believe that the guitars for Inveanimate and the old vocalists of Inveanimate, they have like a side project coming soon, which is very, very exciting to see. Yeah. So next is oh my god, Thornhill, not North Hill, but Thornhill's two songs, Obsession and Nerve. These two songs are really incredible, and I'm really, really embracing, this new sound of theirs. I think Heroin is very nice, very good studio material, but I feel like this band just excels live. I saw them live February of this year during the Super Bloom tour with Silent Planet, and they blew my mind. It was incredible seeing their studio material being played live, and they change it up and they make it so fun. And yeah, I think after I listened to live versions of their music, I can't really go back to their studio material that much, because like their live material so good. I feel like this band should just make like live albums to be honest, or mix their music in a way that kind of sounds very raw. There's a lot of bands where I feel that way, but Obsession, very fun, very groovy, it has like a raw sound to it, which I love. And Nerve is just chaotic, just kind of like Heroin, but just way more like Loathe, I guess, and very heavy on vocal layers and a whole bunch of different sound effects. It's a very chaotic song, and it's fucking incredible. I love it. But I'm super excited to see what Thornhill has up their sleeve in the near future, and who knows, I have a feeling that this new material from them is going to be their best so far. But yeah, so next is Silent Planet's Mindframe. I think Silent Planet has done an awesome job with evolving their sound and also making it sound very a natural progression. And I feel like Mindframe is probably one of the most accessible songs in their discography, in the sense of it sounds very similar to a lot of what other industrial metalcore artists are doing. But I feel like people are hating on this song, which I kind of understand why people don't really like it. It's kind of like cookie cutter, regular, nothing super innovative or anything like that. But I don't know, I'll just tell those people, chill and wait until, an album comes out. Because I feel like, I don't know, whenever I listen to this song, I don't really think about the song structure or anything like that. I just feel like the song is just put together so well, and it has a very strong foundation where, I don't know, I don't really think about, the song structure that much. I just kind of go with the flow with it. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Silent Planet has up their sleeve for next year. I'm not totally sure if they have an album coming out next year, but I definitely expect that we're going to get some more singles next year. But yeah, so next is Unprocessed with their two new songs, Sacrifice Me and Dark, Silent, and Complete. Sacrifice Me is probably my favorite Unprocessed song that I've heard. Just very very fun instrumentally. Their vocalist and guitarist is so talented, and his vocals are just so incredible and very, very fun. And the song progression is also very cool, how it goes into some of these heavier parts. But I feel like Dark, Silent, Complete is a very weird song for me. It goes too much into like the blast beat stuff, which I don't particularly love a lot. But I don't know, hopefully whenever an album or EP comes out with this material, that song will make a bit more sense for me. But yeah, that was Unprocessed. I'm super excited to see what they do in the future. But next is Fraudulent Spirit and Prodigy by Idola, which is probably right now it's like my most exciting material. or most excited, music material that I really want to see in an album for next year. If you didn't know, Idola is going to be releasing their album Mend. I believe it's January 17th, which I'm super, super, super excited for many different reasons. Eviscerate was such an incredible album. And this new material is very interesting. I'm kind of questioning Prodigy right now, and some of the other teasers are very interesting, feeling very weird just listening to a snip peek, is that how you say sneak peek of the songs, and it's kind of weird at the moment, but I'm very excited to see what a lot of these parts sound in context with the album. But yeah, overall just very, very excited for these. All these singles, a lot of these singles are just, music for next year. And yeah, very, very excited. I'm falling apart as we speak right now. This cold is getting on my nerves, but we'll get through this. We'll get through this. Holy shit. So next are EPs. I realized I haven't really listened to a lot of EPs this year. And yeah, I don't think a lot of bigger bands release EPs this year, but there was a couple that, obviously I'm going to be going over. But yeah, so starting with it, Mirror's Edge by Northlane. Interesting, EP. I feel like there's some songs that I really, really like Dante, and I think it's Dante, and Massage, I think, with like Winston from Parkway Drive. That song is very cool. Some of the rest of the songs I haven't really came back to that much, and I don't really particularly love. But it seems like a EP that they're kind of experimenting with their sound a bit and mixing, which, is cool. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what Northlane does next with their music. But yeah, next is Mare by Marar. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But this is a fall EP that blew up for a lot of people at the time it came out this summer, and I haven't came back to it because it's too innovative and it's very, very disorientating to listen to, at least for me personally. I love like bands like Voljarta, but I feel like there's a bit more structure and stuff like that, and also, the music is instrumental too, which is not really my thing. I'll probably enjoy this a little bit more if there was a vocalist. But other than that, like, very fun. The mix is very insane, very huge. And I think I'll still be checking out more of their music. And it's always fun to listen to this type of music for the first time. But longevity, this music doesn't really have much for me personally. So next are the Volumes EPs from the Platinum. I honestly really, really like how they're putting out singles. Some people really don't like this at all, and I kind of understand where they're coming from, but I honestly feel like, if the music is that good, I feel like the band is, if they don't put out single by single and do these kind of EP things, I think they're just kind of wasting an opportunity to make their music even bigger than what an album release would do. And I'm very excited to see future music of these Volumes and hopefully getting towards an album. But yeah, very, very fun. A lot of diverse singles, and yeah, I don't think I really have anything else much to say other than that. So next is the Poetic Ada. Is it Edia? I'm not totally sure. By Cynthia and Disembodied Tyrant. That EP is pretty insane. I don't listen to a lot of deathcore like that, but it was quite a ride listening to it for the first time. And obviously, Disembodied Tyrant, there's a big buzz with that band in general. I don't particularly know 100% why, but I do see some elements that makes this band very cool, like the guitarist being both, you know, the guitars and a screamer and vocalist, which is pretty insane. And it seems like the same person is literally mixing a lot of different deathcore bands, and you know, bro is like literally the next Buster, pretty much. That's almost what it sounds like. But I don't know. I'm very excited to see what Disembodied Tyrant does. I think they release like a like an like a like a part 1 EP or something that I didn't check out yet. Maybe I'll check it out in the near future. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking out, you know, Disembodied Tyrant, because, you know, obviously there's a buzz and there's something there that is very, very cool and very fun to listen to, compared to like most other deathcore bands, because I feel like a lot of deathcore bands, they just, I don't know, they're not too interesting to listen to for the first time. But yeah, but next is Counterparts' EP called Heaven Let Them Die, which is a surprise EP that they just came out of nowhere and decided, hey, we're just going to release an EP, and that's it. And I did listen to watch the music video, which had 2 songs, and I really, really enjoyed them. And then I checked out the whole EP, and it was incredible. I loved it. Counterparts, I feel like Counterparts in general, most of their music's mix wise is very mellow and very softer compared to other metalcore mixes, and which gives them their very unique sound. And then whenever I saw them live the beginning of this year, and the Semester Dropout or College Dropout tour, or whatever the hell, Metalcore Dropouts tour, man, they really, really hit the live. And listening to some of the material that I've heard and hearing it live is pretty insane. But I feel like in this EP, they really, really turned up the mix and make it very heavy hitting compared to their other mixes in their past, which is very, very cool, which I enjoyed. And it's not really a thing that, you know, I don't like about their older stuff. But I don't know. I'm very neutral whatever this band chooses to do. And I always felt like, you know, whatever they do, they kind of do it very well. And I don't really complain a whole bunch about it. But yeah, that's the EPs. And next are the disappointments. Okay, we're halfway there. Holy shit. Okay, I'm pausing to give myself, you know, a little bit to breathe. A little bit. Holy shit, man. I'm struggling, but we're going to get through it. But disappointments. So first is Vola's Friend of a Phantom, which is an interesting album of theirs. I feel like some of their music didn't really hit. I feel like there's some individual songs that I really, really enjoyed. I can't name them specifically, but I felt like the whole album as a whole was very underwhelming for the first listen, and there wasn't really anything that I really caught on to that much. But I don't know, I was kind of expecting them to kind of go outside of the box and kind of, you know, evolve a bit. And I feel like each album of theirs, they've changed their sound significantly a bit more, but I feel like in this one it's not really much of a sound change as much. But I have a feeling that this album will probably grow on me a bit more in the future, but we'll see what happens. But next, oh my god, I can already hear people like absolutely hating me on this, but 156 Silence, People Watching. I first listened to this album thinking, man, this is very cool and very interesting, and then I start listening to the album more, and the more that I realize that there's nothing really in it for me listening to this album. I don't know what it is, if it's I don't know if the album is too long. There's just nothing really holding me or catching my eye, and I think a lot of people talk about how cool the choruses are, and I don't know, they don't really hook with me. I'm not totally sure, but you know, if you like this music or whatever, hey, good for you. I can't really totally get into it personally, but yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have a bit more time with it. We'll see what happens in the future. Next is Stigma by Wage War. Wage War is a band, I've defended a decent amount. I think, it's good for a band to evolve a bit. And I know people complain about, octane core and stuff like that. Personally, I don't really care if like music sound very octane core, as long as it feels very natural and there's some kind of substance in the music. And Pressure, there was a bit more, there was some substance in the music, but there were some criticisms with, how a lot of the songs individually didn't really fit together in an album, not as cohesive. And then Manic was a massive improvement that I thought was better in general, that had some bit of depth in it, but not as much depth as their albums Dead Weight or Blueprints and stuff like that. But this album just has nothing. It just feels like breakdowns, clean singing. I don't know. It just doesn't really have any depth for me, lyrically at all. And I think it's probably their worst album because of that. But, I think it's going to be a very awesome album for them to tour around with, and people probably associate, the huge sound of, seeing them live and then coming back to the album. It will give it a bit more depth for people. But for me, it's there's nothing really to it. Next is Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse. I did make a excuse me. I did make a reaction to this album. It's on Patreon if you guys want to look at it. It's particularly the reason why I really don't like this album in general is not because of the song structure, not because of the music, really. It's mostly because, Ronnie Radke, the way that he presents himself online, and, the music pushing and kind of encouraging the type of behavior that he's engaging on Twitter. And not to say, the people who attack him are also right. I don't think so. I think that there's a situation that is happening where, the Ronnie Radke haters or whatever are yelling at Ronnie, and then that boosts his, attention up on social media and stuff like that. And it causes so much noise that I really, really don't care about. And I feel like people can, I don't know, do something better with your time instead of, arguing with random dipshits online. I don't know. That's probably all I have to really say about it. I think musically it's it's okay, but yeah, it's just, I don't like how this album is, encouraging some of this type of behavior. Not saying the album itself is encouraging it or whatever, but the people who are listening to it and Ronnie Radke's engagement online is just, it's not healthy at all. But yeah, that's kind of how I have to feel about it. I honestly feel like my the video that I reacted to the whole album better describes, I think at that time I better describe, my position a bit more, since, I stay away from that drama and all that type of stuff. That's the reason why I don't do any Falling in Reverse reactions. But if you want to see like my actual like formal opinion about it, go check out my Patreon. I don't know if I have it for free or you have to pay $1, but if you really want to check it out, go check it out. So now we're at the top 10 albums, or no, we're at honorable mentions. So these are albums that were potentially going to be in my top 10, but they didn't become that, become on that list. So next is American Motorsports by Bill Murray, which is a very fun album, mixing, with country, fusion, and metalcore, and it's just a very fun album overall. And Bill Murray has a great voice, and it seems like a lot of people are really, really resonating with this sound, which, I totally get. Personally, I don't listen to this type of music a whole bunch. I do like listening to this music with like with my friends and stuff like that, but yeah, I think this music is just very fun to check out for the first time, and in a friend setting, I think this music fucks. It's very cool, and I definitely will be checking out new Bill Murray in the future. Next is From Zero by Linkin Park, which is a very huge album for everyone, for a variety of different reasons. But I feel like this album is very, very good, very solid, put together very, very well. And there's definitely some songs that I love coming back to. And I honestly feel like the first half of the album isn't as good as the last half. But there's some amazing vocal melodies, and Mike Shimoda did an awesome job being very innovative with his vocal deliveries and stuff like that. But very, very fun album. Next is From the New World by Alt. I feel like this is just an album that I haven't put a lot of time in because I'm not in the thaw mood right now, and even the time that I reacted to it. But I feel like this is going to be an album that I will be checking out in the near future whenever I get back into thaw, and I'll probably resonate with it a bit more than I did this year. But very nice album. It seems like there's some lyrical content that I would really, really resonate with. And this band is just awesome. Really enjoyed what they really put out. Man, my brain is shrinking as this video goes on. Okay, so Wave Machine. Next is Wave Machine by Makari. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I honestly feel like this album is just very... I don't know, it's both very fun and sad at the same time. It's very, I feel like this album could be like a soundtrack for like a love story or some kind of movie, because there's some amazing lyrical references and stuff like that, or not references, but just playful lyrics and stuff like that. That are very fun and very heartbreaking at the same time, and very consistent album. And Andy's vocals are very amazing in this, and it's very cool hearing him in this context instead of like Termina or Monuments. And I feel like his clean vocals really shines here. So now, we're getting towards the end. My top 10 albums of this year. Holy shit. Oh, man. I'm very, not to say I'm tired, but my voice is getting very, very tired really quickly, so we'll get through this. So, first, the 10th album is Cure by Era. I feel like this album is a nice, evolution or continuation of what they did with their self-titled, but they kind of simplified it a bit more and added some very interesting and different guitar techniques and just different ways of playing guitar, which is very, very cool. I feel like this band, I think my biggest criticism with this band is that lyrically there's not a lot of depth in their lyrics. Really, it's kind of like you kind of interpret your own like feeling and stuff like that, but I don't know, I don't really get a lot of depth from it personally. But I would love to see if Era could like make like a concept album or just kind of like a story album to like have some kind of for me personally to have some kind of investment. But the band can't just cater to my needs and my wants, but I feel like this music in general is very fun to listen to. And whenever I'm in a vibe of not wanting to think and listen to something cool, this is kind of like my shit. So yeah. So number 9, I think as I'm looking at this, holy shit, I probably made someone mad here. I'm gonna switch this out. But so my number 9 is Violent Delights by Galleons. I feel like this album is very, very fun. I think my biggest criticism with it is that it's too long, but there's a lot of, you know, substance and a lot of songs to really dig your teeth into. And and I think there's a lot of catchy moments in it. Something I just realized is that I didn't even put, you know, any of Galleon's like newer singles in the singles section, and I feel like those singles are awesome. Just, you know, just to mention, but very fun features, and overall there's a lot of different variation of sounds, and yeah, very consistent album that I come back to every so often, but I don't really listen to it from, you know, start to finish, which is kind of the reason why I don't really the album is this low. But number 8, which is the one that I switch to put on top of Galleon's album, is the Nothing That Is by Fit for an Autopsy. This album is just incredible. There's still some songs that I need to like get deeper into, because I think lyrically there's a lot of depth in their music, and talking about, you know, difficult topics and very dark ones too. And I feel like there's some parts of the album that I kind of have a little bit criticisms for, but other than that, they're not a big deal at all. And I feel like the overall aesthetic, their music in general, I think kind of blending their Gojira sound that they had from their first album, and taking, you know, the new elements in the Sea of Tragic Beasts. I feel like they kind of combine that together to make this album, and that's kind of how I look at this album. But some amazing moments in it, and some awesome and angry songs, and a lot of variety of different songs. So yeah, next 7 is Secrets of the Future by Relica. I feel like this album is so unique, and it makes me want to listen to it even more. I feel like the lyrics do have some depth to it. There's still a bit to explore in my personal end to see what I can get from it, but I feel like Monica, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, I'm not totally sure, but the vocalist, her vocal delivery is very fun, very cool, and a big part of the reason why this album is in my top 10 is because of the song. I think it's like Two Steps Ahead, or oh man, I think it's like Two Steps Ahead. It's like the softer song of that album, and it hits home for me, the lyrics, and her singing is awesome, and you know, the mix is incredible. There's some awesome parts where you would expect her to sing, but I honestly feel like her vocal delivery and how she, you know, does, you know, kind of screaming and kind of rougher vocals, it just works very, very well. But yeah, awesome album. Next is Negative Space by Poppy. This is an album that I did not expect to make it this far up at all. But you know, this is a album that, you know, I checked out very recently, last month, and I just loved it from start to finish. Not to say, I don't know if the music really has like substance, but I feel like the melodies and the vocals just really hit. Everything about this album is just incredible. I think some people kind of have mixed feelings about it, but for some reason, for me, it hits so hard. But I will be checking out some of her previous works very soon. I think there's an album called I Disagree or something like that I want to check out. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But next is Death Is a Little More by Boundaries. This is a metalcore record that absolutely floored me in my first listen, and it still just destroys just absolutely destroys me every single time I listen to it. And the features in the album are incredible, and I'm just super excited to see what this band comes up with in the future. And just, man, it's so angry, it's so pissed off. The guitar riffs are so awesome. Everything about this album, it's consistently good from start to finish. I don't think there's anything else outside of that to really talk about. But next is Make Them Suffer's self-titled album. I feel like there's some songs that hasn't really made it to my like being my favorite or that I love, but there's definitely some songs in this album that just has stuck with me. You know, Man of God, Ghost of Me, I'm trying to think, Doom Switch, Oscillator, like those songs just hit with me so hard. You know, it seems like kind of talking about, you know, personal relationships, you know, the media and all the stuff that's going around. And I feel like this album, you know, kind of covers a lot of different, you know, issues and feelings and stuff like that, which I really, really like. And I feel like this album has way more of a potential to grow even more, because there's still some songs that I haven't really fully, you know, thought or really got in depth with. But yeah, awesome album. Can't wait to see what they do next. Next is The Cycles of Trying to Cope by Like Moss to Flames. I feel like this album in general is very interestingly executed guitar wise. Some very experimental parts where the guitarist is doing weird stuff with the pitch shifter. Very fun grooves. And I feel like their vocalist just has such a mean and just like agonizing, you know, scream and vocal delivery that I just absolutely love. And a lot of the lyrical content, I don't really know exactly what's happening at times, but you know, some of like the lyrical imagery that he talks about or says is just wild, kind of outlandish, and I don't even know how to really make total sense of it. But it's so out there that it just in itself it's so interesting and it has a lot of depth for me. But yeah, very fun record. There's some songs that I come back to every so often whenever I feel very pissed off or feel like I'm having an existential crisis. But yeah, definitely up there for me. So number 2 is man, holy shit, we're almost done. Next is You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. This album is just incredible by itself. I don't think I really need to like talk in depth or about, you know, why this album is so good, because I think everyone very much knows that this is just an insane album, mix wise, guitar wise, vocally. It's just taking, you know, Knocked Loose's style and just like turning it up to an 11. And it's so dark, and I feel like I love Dark Knocked Loose so much. Their first EP, or not their first EP, their EP, Torn into Fabric of Life or Reality or something like that. That EP is just so like agonizingly like dark and just full of emotion. And I feel like I get this same vibe with this album too. And overall, the album structure wise is fun from start to finish. The first listen was incredible, really was incredible. And even re-listening to it over and over and over again, the build-ups are pretty insane. How, you know, the 2 tracks, Moss All Over or something like that, to I totally forgot the lineup, but the 2 singles right before Slaughterhouse 2 are so incredible. And I was kind of skeptical whenever I first listened to it, but the more that I listen to it, it makes so much sense, and it just hits so hard. And yeah, incredible. And I can't wait to see what Knocked Loose does in the near future. I really do hope that they release a new single next year. But number 1 is Eviscerate by Idola. This is probably not a surprise at all, because this band means a lot to me for a whole bunch of different reasons, with, you know, The Architect and To Speak to Listen. and a lot of their music really hits with me and gives me the same euphoria that, you know, whenever I listen to Silent Planet, where, you know, Silent Planet, there's a lot of deep, you know, lyrics to really dig deep into, and references to books and philosophy and stuff like that. And this band kind of does the same thing. And Andrew Wells, the way that he puts everything together is so well done. And lyrically, again, you know, it traces back to other, you know, religions or philosophies and stuff like that. And anytime a band is going to have that, it's almost a guaranteed for me to like really, really fall in love with it. And Eviscerate, there's a lot of feelings, you know, that I had this year that I really resonated with a lot of the lyrics and a lot of the feelings. And it's going to be very interesting, you know, listening to their next album, Men, as I said, is coming out next year in January 17th, and seeing, you know, how a lot of what was being said in Eviscerate is going to be traced back to Mend, or there's going to be maybe questions that are going to be answered from previous albums. And I believe whenever they do release Men, it's going to be the end of, you know, the story that Andrew's trying to tell. And hopefully, apparently there's going to be maybe a graphic novel sometime soon. And yeah, but this band is incredible. I love what they've been doing, and in my opinion, is the best Swancore band. It just, I don't know, there's nothing else that I can really say that is better than this, Swancore wise. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. I feel like I can probably continue on talking, but, you know, I feel like I'm just going to stumble on my words because, you know, I feel like shit, and, you know, my voice is tired. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Thank you for watching and bearing how horrible my voice is and me stumbling my words and stuff like that. This year's been a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to see what next year has to offer. But anyways, if you guys have any suggestions, please put them down in the comments. Tell me your top 10 albums or top singles of this year. I would love to see it. And if you guys have any feedback with my, you know, my list, I would love to hear it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.